Welcome back to Le Grand Bonnard as the BMW IBU World Cup weekend continues here in the stunning Haute-Savoie department. 60 of the best athletes in the sprint qualifying for today's 12.5 kilometre pursuit. 5 laps of the 2.5 kilometre course, one of 4 variations that we see in this final stop before the Christmas break. Once again, alongside myself, Ellen Ellard, is former Team USA biathlete Chad Saumela. And Chad, back in the French Alps after a season away, an excellent venue and crowd once again today, as we've seen over the course of the last 2 days. And as you can see there, conditions perfect again.
Nearly a bluebird day in France, in Annecy, Le Grand Bonnard. You see the sun shining, but the venue a little bit behind the peaks right now in the shade, but that should give way to some sunlight a little bit later. But just about perfect, pristine winter sport conditions. We
were out on the range this morning for zeroing, and a lot of the coaches that we spoke to, the overall impression was that puts a lot of pressure on getting things right on the range, just because how good the tracks are today. There is very limited margin for error.
Right, when the skiing becomes faster and closer together, the range is everything, and that sets it apart from a cross-country ski race. And one guy who's skiing very well, starting third today, is Sebastian Samuelsson. He'll start 11 seconds back, but he's got a funny dynamic. He's got 2 guys out in front of him, about 11 seconds, and 2 guys following him, about 12. He's by his lonesome. He was going to want to pair up with somebody out there.
He is in the form of his life, both on the skis and in the range. He just will be desperate to find that first victory this season in an individual competition. Johannes finishing second in the sprint on Thursday. What a way to start competition here in Annecy, as Martin Oldal, the 23-year-old, in just his 5th start, claiming victory by 1.4 seconds over the great Johannes Thingnes. We will be keeping a very close watch today on Martin Oldal, because winning a sprint is one thing, Chad. Lining up with Johannes Thingnes 1 second behind you, you know we're going to get the camera shot where he's lurking in the distance.
Yeah.
It's something different. That's a different pressure.
It's absolutely different, and this is an event of total dynamics. It's how the race sets up, who's chasing who. Oldal with just 1 second on Johannes Thingnes. He's better just to let the master take control of the race and just follow his lead and then try to react to the situation. See how that first shooting goes. See who's coming up from behind. Is anybody catching him? It's all about reading the way the race plays out in the pursuit.
Yep, it will be interesting to see how that first lap goes. We saw Johannes Thingnes wearing bib number 1 in Hopfilzen. He decided just to let things regroup, and still, of course, coming through for the victory. You can see there, DNS on the Stormsheim. It didn't seem too long ago, what was it, just over a fortnight ago, victorious in the short individual in Contilate, shooting clean. But today, he's a DNS, and still plenty of questions around the form of this Norwegian team, despite the 1-2 in the pursuit, in the sprint team.
That just shows you, Stromsheim gives you an example of just how fragile this sport is. An athlete in the sport is, you get a sniffle and you're out. You have to basically sit out a competition. So we wish Stromsheim all the best, but boy, it's tough to miss a start on the Norwegian team, because you might just get replaced by somebody from the IBU Cup.
Yep, and this is someone who stepped up after performing spectacularly on the IBU Cup, and when he made the leap up in Hopfilzen, a lot of the discussion was about who else they've got waiting in the wings. There's so much young talent in this Norwegian team, and the most experienced in the Norwegian team in this start for the pursuit, Johannes Thingnes wearing bib number 2 today. Sebastian Samuelsson, 11 seconds he'll have to wait before he can start his race, but eyes on his first win of the season. Philip Horn, what a performance he had on Thursday. His first top 15 finish of the season.
Yeah, I would call Horn's performance the second best performance to Oldal.
Yeah, finishing 4th in the sprint, and eyes firmly on the split yellow and red bib of Johannes Thingnes, leading the way in the overall score standings, and of course the pursuit as well. So 4 shooting stages, 5 laps, starting in the order they finished in the sprint on Thursday, and of course with the time difference as well, which means that there won't be much at all between Martin Oldal and Johannes Thingnes, just 1 second as they prepare to push away. And you can see the depth of the crowd. We're expecting 20,000 fans just today, and they've been out since the crack of dawn to secure the best spots on the range. Martin Oldal followed swiftly by Johannes Thingnes, the first 2 athletes to start this men's pursuit. It's the Norwegians who are out first, just 1 second between them, and off goes Sebastian Samuelsson now. 11 seconds he's had to wait, and well, he'll have his eyes on the back of the 2 Norwegians and try and get back up there. It'll be interesting to see if they take this pace out hard, Chad, or whether Johannes Thingnes, as the more experienced of the pair, is just there to say, let's let it regroup, and then, this is a long race today, 4 shooting stages. We'll see how things are after that first visit to the range.
The first 3 on the start order are all skiing about even. Martin Oldal a percent slower than Johannes Thingnes, but right now, this year, Samuelsson and Boo pretty much even on the ski speed. It's the shooting that's the difference.
Well, not much between the Frenchmen starting as well. It's Eric Perrault, who was best on the day in the sprint, wearing bib number 7, just behind him, Emilien Jacquelin, and then wearing bib number 10, one to watch potentially, dark horse Quentin Fillon-Maillet, 9 pursuit victories and 50 seconds out. It's a closable gap.
Absolutely, and I think the thing you have to realize, and we talk about dynamics, if it's all a bunch of ifs, but if Fillon-Maillet can stay clean from 50 seconds back, and the guys up front are fighting each other, he could be there in 2 shooting stages. It's not out of the question.
He has such fond memories of performing here over the years. Quentin Fillon-Maillet, one of the shallows in the distance, draped in a banner that says Allez Quentin, and easily the most popular figure as he came through zeroing.
60 athletes on the start, nearing the final 15 of them as they head on. Just separated by an amazing 2 minutes and 14 seconds to 60th place. It's a really packed field.
Victor Blunt You can see Martin Ponsaloma, who has plenty of work to do. It hasn't been the start to the season he would have wanted at all, particularly in the range. He's showing some really good signs on the skis, but just potentially pushing a little bit too hard to try and cover up the ground and dropping in the range. So we'll keep an eye on him, wearing bib 58.
Yeah, Ponsaloma had the fastest time on the course in the sprint competition. He just missed 6 shots.
So Johannes Thingnes through the first time check at 1 kilometre has slipped ahead of Martin Uldal, and I think that's wise for Uldal. He won't want to be fighting Johannes Thingnes at all.
Looking at the body language of Johannes Thingnes, he's already pulled 2 seconds out of Samuelson at 7/10 of a kilometer. Johannes Thingnes is not going out easy. He's pushing.
So the next 2 athletes through. Bibs 4 and 5, as you'd expect. Philip Horn, followed by Sturla Holmlagaard.
They're losing 3 seconds to the leaders already at less than a kilometer. That tells you Boo is out there. And the great thing is that for Boo is he knows that Uldal will have to make a choice. Do I stay with his ski speed or do I let him go? Uldal's fast, but Johannes Thingnes at his best is faster.
Also seeing the pace that Martin Uldal has in the range as well. Very quick shooter. And, one that's full of confidence at the moment, but still learning a lot, finding his way in this game.
I forget which pursuit it was. It's 3 or 4 years ago, but he's won 3 times as Johannes Thingnes, and he won by over 1.5 minutes once here. It was a huge margin of victory. It was actually a pretty boring race to call at the time, but he's got lots of company this year, and he lets Uldal sneak past him.
Yep, Uldal through on the inside, the tightest line round that sharp bend.
Same time gap as 7/10, so Samuelson's staying even with the leaders. Small differences in the gaps from the last time check. But now look at Emilien Jacquelin, bib number 8, pulling the German and the Frenchman with him. He's got Navrath in there, 6. Navrath is a fast skier. And Tommaso Giacomel, number 9. That is a dangerous pack forming behind Philip Horn and Sturla Holmlagaard.
Yeah, not too far behind that pack as well. You can see him just come into picture is Fion Maillet.
Fion Maillet loves this event. He's the second most successful man on the starter to Johannes Thingnes in this discipline.
And of course, loving being back in Le Grand Bonnard.
Lucas Hofer coming through. He started the day 56 seconds back, so he's losing about 4 or 5 seconds.
But he's found himself wearing bib number 11 really high up the order, and the Italian team quite excited, not just about the likes of Lucas Hofer and Tommaso Giacomel, who are performing well, but also the youngsters that they've got on the IBU Cup as well. As we take a look at just how deep there the crowds are. In places it's 10, 12 bodies deep.
Yeah, it's a little reminiscent of the Tour de France stage up in this neck of the woods. The Tour de France does come through here, has finished in Le Grand Bonnard in the past.
Oh, here's that long downhill into the range. Side by side as they started, Martin Uldal and Johannes Thingnes.
Should point out Uldal, again, first win in 5 World Cup starts. This is only his 6th World Cup start.
Yep.
This is a pretty heady place to be on point 1 of a pursuit in your 6th World Cup start.
So the first of 2 prone shooting stages. Uldal, 2 for 2.
Neither athlete shooting particularly quickly. Nobody forcing the issue. Everybody just doing good, solid work.
And it's a solid start for both the Norwegians, who break the position side by side, going clean. Sebastian Samuelsson with a first miss. And he'll be made to pay for that as he heads off around the penalty loop, 150 meters.
He's got enough time to still maintain a podium position, even if these athletes shoot clean. But it was kind of an odd place. It's hard to come in by yourself and think about all these other people coming in. Jacquelin goes clean, Navrath a miss.
Yep, Sturla Holmlagaard is clean as well. Eric Perrault also goes clean. Philip Horn, 2 misses for Fion Maillet, and that could prove incredibly costly.
Yeah, you can't miss 2 in a single stage, or you just drop out of the dynamic of the race. You got to stay in the flow of the river, so to speak.
Yep, not when you're that far back as well in terms of starting. Vibjørn Sørlund, he goes 5 for 5 in this first stage. Justa Strelo as well, back on track in terms of his shooting. Phil Seppala of Finland has gone clean. Campbell Wright, a good start for the American. Fabien Claude as well. Venlo Shostar Christiansen. Miss for Manzin of Ukraine. Rick Muller, Guggenot, clean. Finello from just over 40 minutes away over the border in Geneva.
Campbell Wright slotting the 15th spot for the United States. It was a minute back at the start to number 13. Now it's down to 9th is a minute back. Surum at 1 minute back. So the leaders pulling away with the clean shooting.
Yep. 1 miss for Ponsaloma. All the Finnish athletes going clean on that first stage. We've been told to pay attention to the side wind and the headwind, but it's incredibly still today. They said it's quite a straightforward range.
Yeah, it's perfect shooting today. In fact, you rarely see it this still. So we'll call it Ruhpolding still. Ruhpolding to come in the after the new year, but it's a very, very quiet range as well. So it all comes down, like you said before the start, it comes down to shooting and staying clean on the range.
Yep. And both our leaders, the 2 Norwegians, Martin Uldal, who we've just seen the shooting of, and Johannes Thingnes, who we're watching the focus of now, shooting clean. And Emilien Jacquelin up into 3rd. Stola Holmla-Glide, who of course has won here 2 years ago. Also shooting clean, he's 32.5 seconds down.
Yeah, elapsed time, if you look at the winner of the day, so to speak, the person moving the best, it's Emilien Jacquelin. He started way back. Now, time-wise, he was 45 seconds back, and now has taken the chase group on in the lead of Samuelson and Lagride. He was 10 seconds up on the leaders in elapsed time shooting and skiing at the range.
And that's something we'll, of course, keep an eye on, because there is extra prize money this season for the net time in the pursuit. And it was Emilien Jacquelin who took that money last week as well.
He's made 11 seconds on the leaders, has Jacquelin, so the fastest guy on course. Eric Perrault, Eric Perrault is so good at this. He doesn't get sucked into the ski races he can't take on. He's letting them all go, just making sure that he stays clean, because he knows that's the route to the podium for him.
Yep, and he showed what was a masterclass, I think, of shooting in the sprint, and very much seems that he's focusing on trying to achieve the same today.
I'm watching the body language here. It looks like Uldal's now struggling a little bit with the pace. He's letting Johannes Thingnes lead, but Bø is trying to crack him. I don't think there's any question about it. Uldal is struggling. You can see he's not quite as quick on the weight transfer, and now a gap opening.
And the gap is 2.1 seconds at the 4 kilometer mark.
And then Johannes Thingnes stands up and sees if he'll come through. But I think Johannes Thingnes is trying to take the temperature of Uldal's fitness, and he got an answer there.
Next through will be this pack of 3, led by Emilien Jacquelin, who looks to the side. 29.2 seconds there down, but it's Jacquelin, Samuelson and Lagride travelling together, and then further back, Philip Horn and Eric Perrault. These two just dropping off the pace of that group of 3. You can see start to fly off into the distance.
Jacquelin, Samuelson and Lagride, that group made time just 2 seconds on Bø and Uldal. That was probably mostly due to the backing off of Johannes Thingnes Bø. The rest of the field, Horn, Perrault, Surum, they're going the wrong way by 3 seconds between 3.5 kilometers and 4 kilometers. So this group's slowing down and stabilizing. The 3 chasers gaining time, and then everybody else after them pretty much losing time.
Yep, Bjørn Sørlund, 63.9 seconds behind Johannes Thingnes Bø. And well, while that gap had opened up slightly, it's closed once again. Still Martin Uldal, who just let him slip there. He's trying to stick on the back, and there's moments where they come closely together and then it widens again, and well, they're into the range for the second of their prone shoots.
Yeah, Uldal's being smart about this. He's letting him go. He's giving those couple seconds just because he wants to maintain his composure. Sometimes it might even just be psychological, realizing, you know, I probably shouldn't go with him. Now the test of the 2 leaders. Final prone shooting stage.
Yep, dropping down into the position.
Uldal fast, 10 seconds.
Johannes Thingnes bow. He usually likes to take his time. There's a miss from Uldal though. Johannes Thingnes bow, free throw 3, 2 misses from Martin Uldal. Twice around the penalty loop, an extra 300 meters, and he'll come back out depending on the shooting here with this group of 3.
It was an interesting battle there. Uldal tried to force the pace on the shooting range, and it cost him. He missed the 2 shots.
Leglide, Samuelsson, Jacquelin coming in together. Samuelsson strikes first, followed quickly by Jacquelin. Both of them 2 for 2. Stella home Leglide, 3 for 3. And Emilien Jacquelin is clean. And keep your eyes on the time because he will go into second.
Uldal still in the loop on his second time around. Samuelsson skis by. So does Leglide. Now Uldal, the number 1 bib, will slot into 5th, leading the penalty loop.
Yep, and this will be a real test of his nerve as he looks to get on the podium once again for just the 2nd time after victory in the sprint on Thursday.
Philip Horn only able to muster 7th. He's dropped to 45 seconds back, and he's perfect on the range.
2 misses for Bjorn Solem. Eric Perreault's gone clean. Just a Strelo clean. Rietmuller as well. Campbell Wright clean once again. He's doing really well this season in the prone position. Jakob Fack on his 400th start is 5 for 5. Kuhn as well of Germany.
Campbell Wright moving into 10th, Strelo in 9th, Navrath, Horn, Navrath, and Strelo for Germany, 7th, 8th, and 9th. But now over a minute for Navrath back, 104. So you got Johannes Thingnes all by himself, 23 seconds ahead. That is exactly a penalty loop, I should point out. And then Jacquelin, Samuelsson, and Legrade all separated by 5 seconds between the 3 of them. And then another that's 41 to Uldal and Perreault. Yeah, Uldal, very interesting tactic. He realized he couldn't match him on the skis, tried to force Johannes to with that fast first shot, but I think it set him up for a little bit less stable for the rest of the shooting, and he was pushing the pace, and it did not work out for Uldal. The master teaching the youngster how it's done.
And Emilien Jacquelin soaking up the roars of the home crowd. He went through after zeroing, cupping his ear, trying to G the crowd up.
This is a dangerous picture in a pursuit race in a World Cup because Johannes Thingnes has nobody on him. He's got a penalty loop to give away, and he tends to do better when he's got that penalty loop to give. Gap was 23.6 seconds after the shooting range. Now the 2 chasers, where will they be?
Yep, Sebastian Samuelsson tucked in behind Emilien Jacquelin. This is the 6-kilometer mark, and it's 23.2 seconds, the gap, so it's fractions that they've been able to close.
But if you look at that last picture, if there's any question that Emilien Jacquelin is on a tear trying to use the fitness he's feeling today, he is looking good. He's forcing the pace of that chase group.
Well, Lou Jean Minot was saying before the race on Friday that this is a course that gives a lot, but it takes a lot as well. And if you can use that as a French athlete, you can really use it to your advantage.
Yeah, this part of the course is really tough. It brings some speed in, very steep climb. It's a leg burner kind of climb. Then you have a tough downhill that you have to use your legs again and go right back into working, but it's a different kind of working. It's a high-speed uphill technique, so you never really get a break until you head into the range.
Yeah.
So at this point, you've been skiing roughly 3-4 straight minutes of uphill skiing with really quick downhills.
Johannes Thingnes through 6.5 kilometers. And Stella Holm-Legride, well, is he closing the gap there? It was 6.5 seconds at the last checkpoint between him and Sebastian Samuelsson. He's just seen his compatriot glide down this long downhill on the other side. The
gap is growing again.
Yeah, it's grown. 3.4 seconds. The gap has grown by.
But Lagerheide closing the gap to Samuelsson. Lagerheide the fast mover there. It's not a lot, it's a second, but he's moving up on the 3 chasers as I think Jacquelin started to feel that pace he set out on that 3rd lap. Started to feel it at this point.
Well, there's bib number 1. Was thinking about trying to take the inside line there, but covered off by Eric Perrault.
But Oldal just 51 seconds back with 2 misses. That's pretty solid damage control if you think about the time it takes to ski a penalty loop. If you add that up, it's about 11 seconds, but he did shoot faster. Course in great shape. A little slip of the foot on Johannes Thingnes' part there. I think it was just a little soft patch of snow, but course is, after the rain we saw earlier this week, this course is holding up just spectacularly.
So Sebastian Samuelsson, bib number 3, now taking on the work of what looks like a chase pair here. Can't seem to see Stella Holmler-Glide despite him closing the gap. So in for the first of 2 standing shoots.
Looking for his 88th career victory. Boo now in control in Le Grand Bornand.
Quick shooting from Johannes Thingnes, but it's quick and it's clean.
Look out, world. The confidence is growing. Johannes Thingnes gets inches closer to the World Championships, and every race he gets a little bit better. It's a race for second at this point.
A miss for Samuelsson. A miss for Jacquelin. As the door opened for Stella Holmler-Glide here, if he can stay clean. There's the miss though, 2 misses for Samuelsson. It'll be an extra 300 meters. He already had 1 miss to his name coming into this shooting stage.
Now a chance for Perrault. Clean to move into second, but it's got to be quick. Don't see the graphic of Perrault.
2 misses for Martin Oldal. It really is a different kettle of fish. But Perrault goes clean and is really continuing that brilliant shooting form. It's exactly what Jean-Pierre Aumart wants to see. They said in a 3-year project before the 2026 games, they're working towards quick shooting and accurate shooting, and Eric Perrault has been a prime example of that this weekend.
Les Bleus in 2 and 3, and the crowd loves it. They're 44 seconds back. They need at least 2 misses of Johannes Thingnes. But Perrault, at 23 years of age, proving that he is a pressure cooker situation guy.
Rietmuller goes clean. 1 miss for Navrat, 2 misses for Campbell Wright.
The rest of the field now just, with every miss, just falling further and further back. Johannes Thingnes is in control of this. And then it's a race between Perrault, Jacquelin, and Lagerheide for the podium.
For Bjorn Sørlem, Sjostad Christensen clean. Fabien Claude receiving the cheers from the French crowd. 5 out of 5. Thierry Longer as well, continuing his good start to the season. 1 miss for Martin Ponsaloma.
I like looking for the big movers, and the big movers so far you see in, not on your graphic anymore, but in 7th place. Danilo Rietmuller has moved up from 29th into 7th. That's a great move for the German.
And that is mostly down to shooting 15 out of 15 so far.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the only way you can move up that way is being perfect. Rietmuller started the day
29th, bib 29. That's, well, it's easily the biggest mover in the top 10.
But he is 5 seconds ahead of Johannes Thingnes at this point too, which is pretty amazing.
And here is Johannes Thingnes.
And this is the Johannes Thingnes that looks like the guy who controls the World Cup. As you look at the difference between his energy of, Jacquelin's still looking good, don't get me wrong, but Boo looks better. He's a little more fluid with his technique, and Jacquelin looking a little bit tired now. Perrault and Uldal, the 2 young the two 23-year-olds.
Yeah, well, Martin Uldal really having to give a lot on the skis today. 4 misses in 3 stages. This is Emilien Jacquelin. 8.5 kilometers, the time check he's coming towards. 46.2 seconds he trails by.
2 seconds slower than at the shooting range, so he's losing time. Perrault and Uldal both looking like unable to keep the pace of Jacquelin, and they're losing more time. They've lost 9 seconds at the shooting range, so they're settling into their own pace. And
Sebastian Samuelsson, well, he's not too far behind them, around 10 seconds back. He has missed 3 on the day so far. Philip Ward will be the next through 8.5 kilometers.
One miss, yeah.
And it's not bad for Philip Warren. He's really stepped things up as he's travelled to Annecy.
But he's lost a lot of time. He's a minute 16 back after starting 30 seconds back. So, but Sebastian Samuelsson skiing well. He's got the 3 misses and he's still just 107 back. And he started the day 11, so he's got about almost a minute and a half of penalty loop. It's about a minute 20 penalty loop time, so he's skiing well.
By no means out of the battle for a podium position yet. But you know it will be the 2 Frenchmen desperate to stand on those bottom 2 steps.
I look at the 4 athletes in this picture and I see 4 very different athletes, and they're all going to approach this in different ways. Jacquelin is going to be very emotional. He's going to put his emotion into the skiing, and you see that happening. Sturla Holmlagred is going to be very calculated in his efforts, and Perrault is just going to let them all beat themselves against the wall and try to go clean. Sebastian Samuelsson doesn't have a choice. He's got to chase and give everything he's got.
Yep, Sturla Holmlagred, 1 miss. Martin Uldal down in 9th, 4 misses on the day. It's Vibjorn Sørlum who's now ahead of Martin Uldal. Sturla Holmlagred looking to continue that really good consistency that he's got in terms of overall scores this season. He's always been there and thereabouts.
Look at Danilo Riedmüller, bib 29 in your picture. Look at the pushes. He's very quick, very springy. He is having a great day on the skis. He's actually nearly matching Johannes Thingnes on the skis. Absolutely taking a flyer today.
As we see Martin Uldal wearing bib number 1 go through 9 kilometers. Still just inside the top 10. Just Estrela, though, who's having a brilliant shooting day. Shooting clean so far, not far behind him. Johannes Thingnes into his final shooting stage, standing position. Clean so far, 15 out of 15.
And really on the cusp of his first dominant performance of the season.
But a first miss, and it's well wide. Quickly through the next 3 and 4. So once around the penalty loop, but he has more than the advantage to allow him to do that. At 9 kilometers, he was 48.3 seconds ahead. We haven't even seen Emilien Jacquelin and Sturla Holmlagred come into shooting yet. Now they do. Emilien Jacquelin making his way towards the mat as Johannes Thingnes making his way out of the penalty loop. And Emilien Jacquelin, as he pulls his rifle off his shoulders, will catch a glimpse of Johannes Thingnes making his way back out onto the course. So Sturla Holmlagred slotting in behind Emilien Jacquelin. And a first miss for Jacquelin. Cheers as the next 3 are hits, and that's the next 4. Sturla Holmlagred, though. A miss for him. So Jacquelin really in the driving seat for 2nd place now. 2 misses for Sturla Holmlagred, and the door is flung open for Eric Perrault, who has gone 20 out of 20 here on home snow.
And Sebastian Samuelsson does not have an answer. 2 missed shots right off the start. So the young Frenchman Perrault is going to light up this crowd and head back out on course, and his teammate will be in 3rd. That's the French in 2 and 3.
Well, it won't be a French victory, but it'll arguably be the next best thing. 1 more time around the 2.5 kilometer course for Eric Perrault and Emilien Jacquelin. Johannes Thingnes already too far ahead. Björn Sørlum goes clean. Martin Uldal, who started bib number 1 today, another miss for Uldal. That's another 2. Really hasn't been his day in the range.
Poor Danilo Riethmiller had one shot shy of a perfect race today, but still flying on the skis. Navrath a miss, Strelo each with misses.
Yeah, Strelo, who that's his first miss of the day. So 19 out of 20 for Justus Strelo. 5 misses for Sebastian Samuelsson. Philip Horn dropping down to 7th.
Go back 11 years, and this is exactly where Johannes Thingnes found his first victory in the sprint competition. He lost yesterday by 1.4 seconds. But the Johannes Thingnes we've seen this year is not the Johannes Thingnes we have become accustomed to. Yeah. Today he's back to his old ways, dominating, huge margin of victory over Perot, 35 seconds, comfortable margin of victory, and he can coast and save up some energy for tomorrow's mass start.
Coming out to shooting, Ståle Holmberg 74.4 seconds down. He's got his compatriot Björn Sørlum on his shoulder, but Emilien Jacquelin and Eric Perot are well away. And here is young Eric Perot, who briefly wore the yellow bib after winning the mass start in Kontiolahti.
Perot just trying to hold off Jacquelin for that silver medal spot, and I guarantee you he wants it.
Only raced here twice before, Eric Perot, and come a very long way indeed to finishing 68th in the sprint on that first occasion. He is now more than a genuine contender, and he is really fighting to make sure it's a silver medal that's hung around his neck at the end of this race. Emilien Jacquelin, though, with the same focus, and you can see him coming to the picture now. We'll keep our eyes on the gap. It's 36.9 seconds that Eric Perot with clean shooting trails Johannes Thingnes with 1 miss, and the gap opening up for Emilien Jacquelin, who really looks like he's fighting hard here. It's not the comfortable skiing that we're used to seeing from Emilien Jacquelin.
No, and he's not gaining any time on Eric Perot. Eric Perot is on everybody's lips here in Le Grand Bornand. He's just 23 years of age, and they had a film, his ski sponsorship had a film in town last night that kind of projected Eric Perot out into the future as a superstar. It was really well done, and everybody in France loves Eric Perot.
So Ståle Holmberg with 3 misses is trailing Björn Sørlum by around 5 seconds. Here's Johannes Thingnes who can start to take things easy here.
Yeah, it's the great thing about this course is you can kind of see exactly where you are to the people who are chasing you. Eric Perot not out of the woods yet. It is a telephoto lens. There's more, you can see the gap a little bit more clearly on that angle, but Perot, just a beautiful skier, technically very sound.
And you can see the gritted teeth of Emilien Jacquelin as he gasps for breath as he fights his way up that slope, and it really doesn't do justice, the camera angle there, just how steep that is.
Well, the technique choices of the two French athletes actually tell the story of who's doing better. Perot was able to stay in that V2 technique, kind of staying in 4th gear, and Jacquelin dropping it down to 2nd on the end of that climb.
I think he knows that Eric Perot is well too far ahead now, and there's no catching this man. Johannes Thingnes, where he loves to race here. Such fond memories of that first career victory back in 2013.
I've been wondering all season when we're going to see this Johannes Thingnes emerge. Well, today was the day.
Yep. But the noise for, well, Eric Perot continuing all around the course as Johannes Thingnes rounds the corner. He can take it easy. He's done all the hard work. 1 miss on the day, but back where it all began, Johannes Thingnes does it again for win number 88. A dominant performance. This is the Johannes Thingnes that we have come to know and love. It's what we expect from the Norwegian. And once again in a pursuit, he delivers on the day. Bib number 2, finishing 1st. And Eric Perot, clean shooting, 20 out of 20. The 23-year-old embracing the atmosphere on home snow. He loves this crowd, and he is making his own memories on this snow here in Le Grand Bonnard, about to one of the greatest to ever do it. And Emilien Jacquelin can glide his way over the line. A podium for the Frenchman. 2 out of 3 on the podium here in the Alps. For Bjorn Sturlum into another flower ceremony, as is Sebastian Samuelsson, who with 5 misses on the day would have wanted so much more. Sturla Holmler-Glide, the final athlete in the flower ceremony. Emilien Jacquelin soaking up the atmosphere. Johannes Thingnes at his very best. And in that kind of form, who is going to challenge him and question him tomorrow in the mass start?
Looking at the penalties, you see Samuelsson with 5 penalties. He flew today. Would really like to see him shoot clean.
And what a way to mark your 400th start on a World Cup. A top 10 finish for Jakov Fak of Slovenia, who are in such great form, this Slovenian team, and have so much to celebrate at the moment. Vetla Sjostar Christiansen with 1 miss, rounding out the top 10. We'll keep our eyes out for bib number 1, yet to cross the line. Campbell Wright, Thierry Longer and Philip Navrat all coming over the line together. There is bib number 1, Martin Uldal in a photo finish with Jesper Nalen. 6 misses for Martin Uldal. Bib number 1. It's, you know, the harsh realities of this sport, isn't it? That you can be really on it one day, but just the difference in pressure between that sprint and individual competitions where you're in your own lane and then having to line up with one of the best to ever do it on your shoulder.
It's the nature of the sport, Ellen. It is a mental cleansing activity that makes you a great biathlete. Johannes Thingnes proved that again, and don't count out Martin Uldal for the future. It's his first time leading a pursuit race. Ends up in 21st today, but he's got a bright future.
Yep, still just his 6th start. He'll line up for the mass start as well, and he has done more than enough to prove himself as someone who can be a mainstay on this Norwegian team.
I have to give a shout out to Thierry Longer, having an awesome career a career best season for the Belgian, moving up from the start in 26th to come to the finish line in 15th. 2 misses on the day. So we got the pursuit time so far, not everybody in, but I think Danilo Rietmüller, despite that miss, will take the pursuit time today. He was 5.7 seconds ahead of Eric Perrault. JT Boot, 19 seconds back of Rietmüller in 5th for the time of the day.
Yep.
Probably some of that came from celebrating at the end, though. Gave it 2 seconds away.
Yeah, particularly Eric Perrault, Emilien Jacquelin, when they really, particularly Emilien Jacquelin, when he realised that the second place had got away from him and was quite happy to let his compatriot take it. They did both slow down, but look at that, Martin Ponsaloma, that's just 11 seconds behind the pursuit time. 3 misses on the day, that's a solid improvement.
Big improvement, and it shows you just how well he's skiing. Three misses, and he moves from 58th to 19th. Imagine if he'd gone clean. He would have been about 50, you know, roughly speaking, a minute back. Clean shooting, Martin Ponsaloma was probably in the top 10.
John Doherty of the USA over the line in 53rd. Capellari, the Italian, 2 misses, 54th for him. As we have 4 athletes still yet to cross the finish line. Birkentals, the 33-year-old from Latvia, finishing 55th. Gogsan of Slovenia. Kolismir Senkovic. Bib number 60 over the line. Didn't qualify for the pursuit in Hoxfilson.
And I believe that does it. I think we had two missed, or two DNSs. Oh, one more out on course, I believe. Karlik still out there.
Yeah, of course, Stonsheim, one of the two, not lining up. The other, Malachek, Czech athlete. As Johannes Thingnes does it again. And the chants from the crowd at Eric. As our final athlete comes towards the line. Nicholas Karlik of Czechia. Just his second World Cup race of the season, competing on the IBU Cup before the call-up. But his 50th World Cup start, wearing bib number 50 today, and our final athlete over the line in the men's pursuit. And, well, there'll be no movement amongst the crowd, of course, who will want to hang around to watch not just the podium, which two men will stand upon. Both the Frenchmen climbing 5 places. Johannes Thingnes up 1 to take top spot today. 1 miss on the day. Eric Perrault shooting clean, 20 out of 20, finishing 27.6 seconds behind. Emilien Jacquelin finishing 3rd. Sebastian Samuelsson dropping down to 5th. Babylon Solom and Sturla Holmlaglide making the flower ceremony. Martin Ponsaloma climbing 39 places, a really solid performance today in terms of out on the course. 3 misses, just 1 clean stage in prone. Simon Eder up 18. Local boy Jeremy Finello from just over the border in Geneva, finishing 34th. The Swiss athletes had a bit of a challenge that if they didn't make the pursuit, they'd have to wear Lenzi, the mascot for the Lenzerheide World Championships, which well, are looming their head on the horizon. But all the Swiss athletes making their way in, not to be, though, for Sebastian Stolder.
Just going to comment on Ponsaloma's day today. He really turned it around. Hitting 17 for 20 is a big improvement from hitting 4 for 10 yesterday. And you could see as he left the shooting range that he was sort of perplexed by the prone shooting. And sometimes you just need an opportunity like today where it doesn't matter much. You're way back. You're in 58th place. You might as well just do the best you can. And that can often turn a season around. And hopefully that helps with Martin Ponsaloma.
A great battle today between Norway and France, but in terms of numbers, it's France who pack out the podium. Johannes Thingnes, though, holding top spot, and that also means that he, of course, will hold on to the yellow bib, and that gap is opening up once again on his compatriot Sturla Holmlaglide, who just made it into the flower ceremony today. This, of course, after 7 competitions. Martin Uldal finding himself in 10th, Quentin Filmaillet in 9th. Not bad as well from Tommaso Giacomel. 7th, Eric Perrault up 7 places into 5th. That second place today doing him some good in the pursuit score. But once again, Johannes Thingnes day. Showing some excellent pre-Christmas form after questions following the quality of racing and his fitness in Kontiolahti. He is well and truly back on top.
Well, it's relative too, isn't it? He's still winning, but he's not winning by the margins we're used to. Today was the Johannes Thingnes of old. There's no question about it. He had a very good strategy. He tested the young Uldal early, shed him from his presence, and then just continued to pull away from the field in true Johannes Thingnes form.
Johannes, congratulations! Another one here in Le Grand Bournon. How does it feel? And you seemed really confident today at the shooting range, on the track. How was it for you?
Yeah, I felt good. I was calm and prone, and it was building up so much for the last shooting. It was the pressure. I think everyone saw my mistake. I was pulling with my shoulder into the rifle and fell down, and I hit the four last. Was tired in the fourth loop, but yeah, in the end it's all about winning. So who cares if I miss or not? I was first in finish.
This French soil seems to be very special for you. How was it to win here in front of these crazy crowds?
This is the #1 place in the World Cup now, so I love to be here, and the fans loves us as well. So we fight together on the track, and it's just so much energy. This is what we love about our sport.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, the fans will be very happy to hear that assessment from Johannes Thingnes, the best place to come on the World Cup circuit. And now we can take a look at those pursuit scores. Johannes Thingnes with the red bib, 180 points. Emilien Jacquelin, 140. Stella Holmlund in third. Eric Perrault jumping from 7th up to 5th. Tommaso Jacomel in 7th. Fabien Claude, another of the Frenchmen, in the top 10. And Jakob Fack up into 11th. Campbell Wright in 17th. There's preparations in place for the women to come through for zeroing. Long at all between the two races. As we take a look back at the steely focus of Johannes Thingnes. Celebrations for the French team. Norway starting bibs 1 and 2. Just 1 second between Martin Uldal, who claimed victory in the sprint on Thursday, but today it was Johannes Thingnes who pushed the early pace. His compatriot couldn't keep with him, and after Martin Uldal dropped 6 in the range, finishing in 21st, it was Johannes Thingnes who reigned supreme. Celebrations in the French camp, though. They find themselves once again on the podium. Eric Perrault shooting clean. 20 out of 20. Starting bib number 7, finishing second today. Emilien Jacquelin, a similar climb from 8th up to 3rd. 2 misses on the day for Emilien Jacquelin. Bjorn Solem and Sebastian Samuelsson deep in conversation. Chance of Eric continuing as he makes his way to stand next to Johannes Thingnes. Emilien Jacquelin slotting in.
We are ready.
We are ready.
For the 88th time, Johannes Thingnes leading out the flower ceremony. Creating more fond memories here in Le Grand Bonnard. Eric Perrault raises his skis. Customary adjustment of the bibs, ready for the podium. Emilien Jacquelin stepping up onto the podium. Bib number 8, 3rd on the day, a bronze medal to be hung around his neck. Once again showing after back-to-back victories in the men's relay. This is a French team who are in really good shape. In the team, boosted by the strength of this youngster, Eric Perrault, the 23-year-old. What a season he's having. From such a long way from his first performance here at Le Grand Bonnard. Shooting performance today, you could not fault it. 20 out of 20, the only athlete in the top 25 to shoot clean. One miss to his name, but out on the skis, he remains the fastest around at the moment. Johannes Thingnes, an 88th career victory. Watched by Ole Einar Blåndalen, who was out on the range today, as Johannes Thingnes continues to close the gap on his individual victory record. And all eyes as Eric Perrault finally finds space to get his foot onto the top spot. All eyes will be on Johannes Thingnes for the second mass start of the season. The action continues here tomorrow for the men. The Biathlon, another flower ceremony for the 26-year-old. There was a podium yesterday. We couldn't replicate it today. Sebastian Samuelsson, 5 misses. Stella Holmlaglide. Goes up first to shake the hand of his compatriot. 3 Norwegians in the flower ceremony. First, 4th and 6th. And some happy Norwegian fans in the crowd there. But it will be the French home crowd who will be celebrating the hardest today. Victorious in the women's sprint yesterday. 2 men on the podium today. As the attention draws to the women, this racing will begin in just over an hour. 10-kilometre pursuit starting at 2:45. Johannes' boat leaving the podium as Emilia Jacquelin and Eric Perrault serenaded by the French national anthem. We will be back at 2:45 for the women's 10-kilometre sprint.